Welcome to Killer Content, where I cover the most heinous true crimes imaginable. In this episode, I'm going to cover the exorcism of Rosa Fernández Gonzálvez, which sadly led to her gruesome death at just 11 years old. It is known to be the worst child homicide in Spain's history. I will warn you now that this story contains graphic content and really is the stuff of horror movies and nightmares. So what led to the tragic death of Rosa? Well, this all starts with Rosa's mother, Rosita Lecharandara, who is well known as a spiritual healer in Almansa, a small town in the south of Spain. Rosita had become so popular as a spiritual healer that even her husband left his job as a shoemaker to help her with this endeavor. Rosita's sister Anna was also recruited to help her in her healing sessions. Not in a hands-on way though, just to be present, as it was thought that the best spiritual healers worked in pairs with either a brother or sister, and Rosita wanted to increase her status in this field. Later, a loyal client of Rosita's named Maria and her sister Mercedes also joined the team to create a double healer experience, a clever marketing plan that also increased her clientele. In the days before the murder, it is thought that Rosita, Maria, and Mercedes, being experts in herbs for their medicinal purposes, took hallucinogenic substances, and this is what led to the madness that was about to ensue. Two days before the murder, Rosita made a phone call to Maria and asked her to come over. Feeling Rosita's agitation on the phone, Maria quickly picked up her children, put them in the car, and headed over to her house. When they arrive, Rosita tells Maria that she is being possessed by the evil spirit of her husband, Martin, and that he is hurting her and she needs to perform an exorcism on her right away. She also decides that the children also need to be exorcised. To expel the evil spirit, she stuck her fingers down the children's throats with such force that they not only vomited, but also began to bleed. In an incredible stroke of luck, Martin shows up at the house and tries his best to bring his family home after seeing what is going on. But Maria refuses to leave. So he grabs the children and takes them home, and without a doubt, saves their lives. The next day, Martin tries again to bring his wife Maria home, but again, she will not leave. Next, Rosita's husband Jesus returns home and sees the terrible state of Maria and Rosita and calls for help. Rosita's sister Anna and Mercedes rush to the house and go up to the bedroom where they find Rosita performing yet another exorcism on Maria. The screaming of the prayers and the rituals continue until Rosita finally calms down and Maria claims to be finally saved. Feeling that the ordeal is finally over, everybody leaves the home and they leave Rosita and Maria to rest. But the ordeal is far from over. Rosita and Maria lock themselves into the bedroom together while Jesus, Rosita's husband, cares for their beautiful daughter Rosa in another room. At midnight that night, Mercedes decides to return to the home, and she joins Maria and Rosita in performing yet another bizarre ritual. The following morning, Jesus enters the bedroom to check on the women and is met with the most disgusting scene. All three women are naked and covered in their own excrement and urine. On seeing Jesus at the door, they begin to beat him and force him to clean up their revolting mess. Rosita then orders him to fetch their daughter Rosa and bring her into the room. Out of pure fear, he does as he is told and is then locked out of the room. Rosita, now convinced the evil spirit of Martin is now in Mercedes, starts to perform the same ritual as she did on the children, sticking her fingers violently down her throat. When she sees the sight of blood coming from Mercedes' mouth, she is satisfied that the spirit has now left her. But she now believes the spirit has jumped from Mercedes and into her daughter Rosa and begins to violently beat her to expel the spirit. Hearing his daughter's screams from the other room, Jesus bursts in to try and save his daughter, but he is withheld and beaten by the other women. The women then decide to move Rosa into her bedroom and continue the exorcism. They barricade the door so as not to be disturbed. Jesus, hearing everything that is going on inside, screams and pleads with the other women to open the door, but his efforts are in vain. In the middle of all of this madness, Maria starts to get her period, and this is interpreted as a sign that she was aborting the devil's child, and Rosita begins to punch her hard in the belly. Seeing that Maria is expelling more blood, Rosita turns her attention to her 11-year-old daughter, Rosa. She points at her and proclaims, "It is you that is pregnant with Satan." And at this point, things become even more brutal. To expel the child of Satan that they believe is inside Rosa, Maria and Mercedes hold the girl down, while Rosita then puts her hand inside her to try scratch the demon out. In doing so, Rosita tears the girl and pulls out her uterus and her ovaries. Still not satisfied that the demon is out, she goes further and begins to pull out the girl's intestines. Poor Rosa died halfway through this act due to massive blood loss and in excruciating pain. But the women were not done. Even though the girl was already dead, they continued to pull out all of her intestines. At around 9 p.m., Jesus, accompanied by Anna, managed to finally get into the room where he was met with the gruesome scene. He immediately left to call the police. The women then turn to Anna. They tell her that they can resurrect Rosa with her help. All they need is her eyes. The women then grab Anna and begin to beat her and try to take her eyes. She somehow escapes with the most horrific injuries, but managed to save her own life. It is around this time that the drugs the women had taken had begun to wear off, and the reality of what they had done started to dawn on them. They tried to escape, but were quickly apprehended by police and detained. What is even more heartbreaking about this story, in my opinion, is that there was no justice for poor sweet Rosa. Just 2 years later, all 3 women were acquitted on the grounds of insanity and are now free to live their lives. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. So I do hope you found this story interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more killer content.